Hey guys, Pastor Mark reacts today. Remember these videos, I just get showing them, never seen them before, and then I do my best to react to them with biblical ideas. And so hopefully you enjoy them. We are doing Mr. Bet You Didn't Know, the origins of the Christmas tree. Let's see what we got.
I was today years old when I found out.
The Christmas tree goes back to Semiramis and Tammuz. The queen, Semiramis, told worshippers that when Nimrod was killed, some of his blood fell on the stump of an evergreen tree, and the stump grew into a full new tree overnight. The tree symbolized dead Nimrod, and the new evergreen tree symbolized how he came to life again, as the reborn, unconquered God. This is a pagan symbol. Pagans use this in their celebration of the sun god. Scripture even speaks about it, going back to the scripture in Jeremiah chapter 10, verses 2 through 4. Thus says Yahweh, do not learn the way of the Gentiles. Do not be dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the Gentiles are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are futile. For one cuts a tree from the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen, with the axe. They decorate it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and hammers, so that it will not topple. He's speaking of a Christmas tree. It should be called a Tammuz tree, because it's all pagan. Yet how many homes of families that classify themselves as Christians place this tree up in their homes, and Christian churches place this up in their sanctuary, defiling their place of worship?
Okay, so the spirit of this is, bet you didn't know this, or, didn't you know this? And people constantly kind of bring these things up to Christians and say, didn't you know that, you took these kind of pagan ideas? Jesus wasn't born on, December 25th. That came from a pagan idea. There were the three kings is actually from the stars, following the star in the east and bringing gifts to a God that was born of the, all of this. So on the first hand, it's not a we didn't know. People know these things, but I think what they do is they take the symbolism of trees or hollies or whatever, and they almost remove them from the whatever meaning they might have had to a particular people at a particular time. So whether that's what he's talking about from Jeremiah, the pagan people around Israel at the time, or whether that's Germany in the 1500s, and what they did with Christmas trees or whatever. People, when they put them up in their house, they infuse them with a different meaning. And so the question becomes, if there's an Old Testament passage about a particular thing, and this is kind of a hermeneutical question too, the art and science of interpretation, there's lots of Old Testament passages that say a lot of things. They say you can't get tattoos, they say you can't eat certain things, they say you can't wear certain fabrics together, but we don't follow those things because there was an epoch, an era, a geography, a theological situation with Israel being a theocracy at the time, that made sense. And then Jesus came and the New Testament began, the time where the Gentiles and the Jews would come together. And some of these things, now it was about Christ and the Spirit, and some of these cultural things didn't matter anymore. And so the question is, does Christianity kind of break that and create a new beautiful thing on the other side of it, where some of these things don't have the meaning that people would say they have. So, we've talked about this before, the idea that even on our money, on American money, there's Masonic symbology, there's pagan symbols. Does it mean you don't touch the money? What does it mean to you when you interact with the money? Thing you infuse into it matters too, not just what it might have meant 2,000 years, 3,000 years ago in a culture so removed you've never been to. So there's that kind of question, kind of thing to discuss. But then there's, yes, people know this, but it doesn't change the reality that it doesn't mean that it's not like a surprise. Like Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. Oh my goodness. It's like, we know he's probably born in September, October. Doesn't change my faith. Never says there was three kings that came and visited Jesus. It said probably 2 years later that there were a whole bunch of magi who were wizards. They weren't kings. There could have been 40 of them. There could have been 2 of them. We don't know how many there were. And these things that people hold on to and say, gotcha. It's like, no Christian actually believes Jesus was born on December 25th. No Christian actually believes 3 wise men showed up and handed. These things aren't actually, so yeah, they might be written in the stars and pagans might have believed them, but Christians don't actually believe them. And then, as many Christians point out, even if some of those things were true, isn't it beautiful that God almost writes a pagan Old Testament into rituals and into creation, into things where people have certain worship ideas that then come and get fulfilled by reality, what Tolkien called, the true myth, that Jesus is fulfilling all the stories we've been telling since we've been sitting around fires and drawing on walls and looking at the stars, trying to interpret reality. Jesus actually comes and fulfills those things. So, Mr. Bet You Didn't Know, most Christians know, it's just they don't infuse those things with meaning. For the most part, a Christmas tree is an aesthetical value that has some nice little lights on it, and it looks nice with your white coffee mug when you're doing your devos in the morning. That's about the meaning people put into it. So, hey, if you got to the end of this video, please subscribe and put in video links of things you want me to react to, and our team will put it together, and hopefully you'll see your video soon. Thanks, guys.